Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And it's a beautiful night here in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're at PNC Park. It's game number 2 of the weekend series. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Jim Hayes is here. That's Al Raboski, the Mad Hungarian. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And welcome to St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Jameson Taillon, tall right-hander, has been pitching magnificent baseball here recently. Goes for the Pirates. And for the Cardinals, they were counter with the right-hander Lance Lynn. Last time out, very good.
He really was. He defeated the Mets with a strong performance. 7 innings, only allowed 3 hits and 1 walk on the game. So he can duplicate that. But I think overall he's had a very good solid season coming back from Tommy John surgery.
Lance Lynn on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals. Jameson Taillon for the Pirates. And Taillon will have to worry about a couple of youngsters swinging the bat well. Paul DeYoung with a hitting streak on the line tonight. And the power of Luke Voigt, the St. Louis native. He'll play first base. It's Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends. By Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Gorgeous night here in Pittsburgh and a big crowd here at PNC Park. Ballpark that opened up back in 2001 with the great views that you have in all of baseball. And we have that view high atop the stadium and looking across the Allegheny into downtown Pittsburgh. Jamison Tyone. He's got great stuff. And finally putting it all together. Fastball, curve, and change. A look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal. He's a 25-year-old making his 12th start of the year. He missed his last start on Sunday in what he said felt like food poisoning, so they held him out. Missed that start. He's got plenty of rest coming into this game tonight.
Yeah, matter of fact, they're a little concerned about his endurance for this game. So Pirates were saying if they get 5 innings out of him, they'll be thrilled. But hopefully the Cardinals can knock him out early. But this is going to be a tough task because he's pitching extremely well.
Matt Carpenter leads it off, followed by Tommy Pham and Dexter Fowler. Jed Jerko homered here last night. Then Yadier Molina, Luke Voigt, Paul DeYoung, Jose Martinez in for the injured Stephen Piscotty, and Lance Lynn will bat ninth. Carpenter has reached base 17 games in a row, and he looks at his shift to start this game. He singled in the 8th inning last night. And during these 17 games, his on-base percentage is .377. So the average only at .237, but the on-base percentage is high as he leads the National League in walks. He's tied with Joey Votto with 63 to lead the senior circuit.
So the average is down, but he does find a way to reach base.
And the 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes.
That's something too, Dan. I think Cardinals can be very patient with a long layoff for Tyone. He's not going to have that command early.
2-1.
Tyone, this is what happens when you lose 100 games. You get guys like this in the draft, the #2 pick in the country.
That was back in 2010. The 2-1 pitch and a base hit out to left field. And the Cardinals have their leadoff man aboard, and that's 18 straight games that Carpenter has reached base. Adam Frazier in left, Andrew McCutchen in center, Gregory Polanco is in right. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs, Freese, Mercer, Harrison, and Bell on the infield, and Francisco Cervelli is behind the plate. There's Tommy Pham at 2 hits and his 12th stolen base last night. Leads the Cardinals in steals, and he's now in the top 10 of the National League.
And with Piscotty and Grichuk both on the DL, Tommy Pham's going to get a lot of playing time, and he deserves it.
Magneuris Sierra is on his way to the ballpark. He was at Little Rock playing in the minor leagues, so he's been called back up. And the Cardinals expect him in uniform at some point tonight. Tommy Pham in his last 6 games is 9 for 21 with 5 runs scored and 5 driven in. Looks at a breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
Taillon has a very good fastball and also the good curveball.
Oh, 2 the count. Back Carpenter, your runner at first base. Missed in. A 2010 draft. #1, it was Bryce Harper, then Tyone, and third went Manny Machado. So the top 3 pretty darn good. One ball and 2 strikes on Tommy Pham. The Cardinals that year selected 25th overall. They took Zach Cox, who was a third baseman out of Arkansas, and that turned into a trade with Miami. Cardinals picked up Edward Mujica, and he was a key member of the Cardinals bullpen.
But isn't that amazing? The few times the Cardinals have missed on a top draft pick, are able to move them and get something in return that's very valuable to the club.
The 2-2 pitch. 3-2.
It seemed like Cox out of Arkansas just never really could make the conversion from an aluminum bat to the wooden bat.
See if the Cardinals want to be aggressive early here with Carpenter, your runner at first base. And time is called.
Gnats or something flying in front of Tommy Pham.
It's hard enough to hit, and it's hard enough to hit with poor vision and with gnats. He doesn't need that.
Nope.
And a ground ball that's pulled foul. In that draft for the Cardinals, you know, they did well. Like you talked about, they were able to draft in lower rounds, but yet find major league talent. Zach Cox, Tyrell Jenkins, Sam Tuivailala, Greg Garcia, Tyler Lyons, Dean Kieckeffer made it to the big leagues.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good draft. 3-2 pitch, and we'll do it again.
That's what has been most impressive over the Cardinal organization for decades. That with their success of winning, they've not had the very high picks, but yet they're still able to not only get their first rounders, but they'll get some of those cherry picking down the way down the 30th, 40th, different select rounds. Some of the rounds that are not even in the draft anymore, and they've got them to the big leagues.
Carpenter is running, base hit. Mercer was going to cover the bag at second base. Matt stops at second, and the first two have reached with back-to-back hits. Pham fell behind 0-2 and singles to left. And it brings in Dexter Fowler, who was 0 for 4 last night.
You see the shortstop covering, so the vacated area, Tommy pulls the ball through there. Tyone, the last time he pitched was July 4th, so you can see we missed that start on Sunday with the food poisoning, and they didn't expect him to be real sharp.
Curveball and a strike to Fowler. This has been a rotation of players for the Cardinals in the third spot in the lineup. The Cardinals' 5th fewest home runs from the third hole with only 12 and 45 RBIs, 7th fewest. And Fowler rips it foul.
And the Cardinals are the only team in the major leagues that do not have a 15 homer man. They got 3 14 guys.
And that would be Carpenter, Fowler, and the man on deck, Jed Jerko. But trying to find some type of production from the 3-hole, and at least at the onset of the second half, it's Dexter Fowler. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
But I think it's safe to say that once that Fowler moved down in the order, Carpenter instilled in the leadoff spot, both of them started hitting much better.
And a ground ball that could be 2. Harrison flips to Mercer, double play for 6-3. With 2 outs and a runner at third base, the batter will be Jed Jerko.
It's right up the middle, and Harrison and Mercer pretty smooth up there. Not the greatest of range or the greatest players, but real solid major leaguers.
Well, yesterday at this time, a 2-run homer in the first inning for Jed Jerko. 14th. So he's a co-leader in that category. Leads in RBIs with 47. Also leads the Cardinals in hits.
Cardinals only had 6 base runners all game yesterday, and 4 after Jerko hit his 2-run home run in the first.
Runner at third is Carpenter in the 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kubota Power Stats, the team leaders in homers for the Cardinals. Carpenter, Fowler, Jerko, all with 14. Nobody with 15. And as Al mentioned, the Cardinals the only team in the game right now with nobody with 15 or more home runs. Now the Cardinals have loved the long ball at this ballpark. Opened up in 2001. Cardinals have hit 134 home runs. That's most of any opposing team here at PNC. One ball and 2 strikes. First strikeout of the night for Taillon. After back-to-back singles, the double play and a strikeout, and the threat is through. Lance Lynn to the mound when we come back to Pittsburgh. Lance Lynn, his 19th start of the year and number 147 of his career, wearing a Cardinal uniform.
Missing all of last season, I'd have to say that his numbers are pretty good this year, coming off the Tommy John surgery.
Very tough against the right-handed batters, hitting just 177 against him. Adam Frazier will lead it off, followed by Josh Harrison, Andrew McCutchen. Same lineup as last night. Then Josh Bell, David Freese, Gregory Polanco, Francisco Cervelli, Jordy Mercer, and Jamison Taillon.
One thing that's really given Lance some trouble this year is a career-high 20 home runs. But he is absolutely dominated against the right-handed batters, so keep these lefties in check.
First pitch to Adam Frazier is strike 1. Frazier was hitting 192 in the final 43 games before the All-Star break. Last night, 3 hits, 2 singles, and a 9th-inning double. Oh, 0-2 the count.
Lance was roughed up by the Pirates. He's back June 24th, he allowed 7 earned runs.
That's pulled foul. He's had a very good year. Opponents only hitting .210 against him. That's in the top 4 of the National League in opponents average. He's given up 2 earned runs or less in 12 starts this year, and that leads the Cardinals staff. And the 0-2. So including tonight, 22 appearances against the Pirates, this being his 20th start, and this year 1-1 against the Buccos. The 1-2 pitch.
Looks like another tight strike zone.
Marvin Hudson, our home plate umpire, Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
Just a bit inside, but
the 2-2. With a loss last night and a win by Milwaukee and Chicago, the Cardinals are 6.5 back. Pittsburgh starts play 7. The Cubs 5.5 out. The 2-2 pitch. Hit left side, diving stop by Jerko, and the stretch by Voit, but he's off the bat. Cardinals will take a longer look at that. Nice play again by Jed Jerko.
Absolutely, Dan. Frazier can run a little bit, so a couple steps, a dive, scramble to your feet, get up there. Stays in his glove, and looked like Guccione, our first base umpire, wanted to call him out, but in the calling him at the point of calling him out, he changed it and called him safe. But I think we'll get a reversal of this, don't you?
I do, and I wonder if he was distracted a little bit with the ball going halfway out of the glove and thinking maybe that he dropped it.
Exactly, but I also saw that it did stay in the webbing. I was watching Luke Voit today during batting practice, was really accentuating, practicing stretching like that, and really going all the way to the splits and trying to reach out as far as he possibly could. And here, the first play of the game for him gets that same type of play.
MLB has gone to the set of Game of Thrones to bring in some help on the replay official, helping out the umpires.
I know what you're talking about. They're playing on the video board, and I think they see the ball kind of poking through the webbing and think he missed it. He's out.
Winner's coming.
See, they think the ball was laying on the ground as it went through the webbing. Nice play, Jed Jerko.
Defensive run saved, and among third basemen, BJC Healthcare difference maker and all infielders, Jed Jerko. Look at that. He's in the top 3.
Yeah, and he's got a couple more at second base, but that was at 12 saved at third base.
I'm a Game of Thrones guy.
Oh, I am too.
I'm waiting for tomorrow night.
I couldn't tell you all the characters,
but I love it. The ball outside to Josh Harrison, who was 0 for 5 in Game 1. Two balls and 1 strike. Harrison leads their club and stolen bases with 10 and hitting .276.
I can't tell you how important it is for the pitcher to get that defensive play early in the game. Pick you up.
Especially the leadoff man.
Yeah, leadoff man who's got some speed. And Harrison really is his first at bat in the first inning is usually his best.
The 3-1 pitch popped up. Playable. Voit in foul territory and makes the catch. Holds on. Well, you're talking about how the Cardinals have done well with late round picks, and then if they're not in a Cardinal uniform still, they've been able to turn that pick into something that benefits the big league club. And so the 2008 draft class for the Cardinals, only Lynn and Kevin Segrist remain from that draft class. Brett Cecil was the first pick that year for the Cardinals. He was just released by San Diego at the beginning of this season. Brett Wallace, excuse me. And Brett Wallace, you think about him being the centerpiece of the deal to bring in Matt Holliday. So a trade that certainly worked out well for the Cardinals as McCutchen reaches with a 2-out single.
And McCutchen's trying to hit over 400 for the 2 months in a row. He was the National League Player of the Month for June and off to a great start in July. Yeah, that's, you know, you think about Seagrass, he was a 41st round draft pick. You know, so they only go to 40 rounds now. Great example. Think about, you know, guys in the past. I know Forshee was a high pick. So was Keith Hernandez.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say high 30s.
Beyond that, I think 42nd round was Hernandez. Jed Jerko and the defense of the Cardinals standing out here in the bottom of the first. Defensive run saves in the top 3 of the National League, and showing us why here in Pittsburgh. And Luke Voit and Paul DeYoung. So here's the stretch by Voit and a ball that nearly gets through the webbing. And then Chris Conroy, you see there, one of the Cardinal trainers starts to work on the glove, and that's truly one of the responsibilities of the medical team.
It's amazing, but they must, you know, when you're in the minor leagues, your trainer's got a lot more responsibilities and everything else, but I think that's where they all learn it. How to repair the webbing, the gloves, restring them. Seems like it's always the job of the training staff rather than, say, equipment man.
It seems like, too, that if you get that first strikeout or the first hit, it's the medical team that does the inscription of that ball.
My very first major league win was a 17-inning game against the Cubs. So the inscription on that goes all the way around the ball.
Does it really?
I mean, the whole box score. You know, everybody's pitch, everything else. You know, virtually, you don't put, you know, like the offensive numbers and everything, but transcribe, put the line score, the winning pitcher, losing pitcher, saves. You know, if somebody did something key, put there.
I hope you still have that baseball.
I do. I have about 30 of 40 wins I had with the Cardinals.
Nice. 2-2 the count here on Yadier Molina. No score as we play here in the top of the second. Molina was 1 for 4 in game 1. The single to left field in the 4th inning. He made his presence known with his glove and the great pickoff play that he had at third base. Marvin Hudson took that foul ball. So the Catchers Cervelli and Molina giving him a little time. There's a breaking ball, puts it in play, hit to short, long throw in the out.
I think Jody Mercer had a little more time than he realized as he rushed his throw over there and did it flat-footed and almost wasn't accurate, but a little bit low. But with Yachty running, you could have had that time to take a crow hop.
So Luke Voit, who's had 39 at bats and 8 extra base hits.
How refreshing is it to be around him?
He is fun to be around. He was a pinch hitter last night. That was in the 8th and lined out to center field. So Colton Wong sits in this game, and Voit gets the start, and Carpenter moves to second base. Here's the 0-1.
I talked to Colton Wong today and said I was a little surprised that you weren't in the lineup, just coming off the DL. I said, how's your stamina? He said, that's great. I feel great. Everything else. And he started to say something, and he caught himself and said, I'm not going to worry about things that are beyond my control. And that's a plus.
This will be the second strikeout for Taillon. And the batter is Paul DeYoung with 2 outs. He had a single late in the 8th of Juan Nicasio as he went 1 for 3 to extend his hitting streak to 7 games. And a fastball in there for a strike.
You wouldn't know that DeYoung has only been as a rookie or even what, 2 months a big leaguer. He handles himself very well.
Only has 4 walks compared to 38 strikeouts, which is something I know the Cardinals are going to look at a little bit harder, outside of getting the base hits and hitting for power, but trying to get on base with the walk if it's given to him. Luke Voit is checking out his glove, make sure it's all right. By the way, that young man is put together. Luke Voit. Big dude. Grounder hit to David Freese. Voit and the Cardinals here in Pittsburgh in game 2, and there's no score. check in with Jim.
Yeah, it's a right groin strain, Dan. It happened in the 9th last night after an awkward landing on a throw. Piscotty told me right after I made the throw, a cleat got caught as I recoiled, and I felt it grab. Piscotty says it's minor, but he understands going on the DL. He said you don't want to play with a short bench. I get it. Magnera, Sierra recalled from AA. GM Michael Gersh told me Sierra was obviously impressive in his earlier call up, but had they needed a fill-in beyond a handful of games, they might have gone with Harris and Bader. Randall Grichuk expected to come off the DL on Thursday. He's been dealing with a back issue, and Dan Sierra expected to arrive sometime during the game. He was not here prior to game time.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. Here's David Freese at the plate. Jim, you had the chance to visit with David prior to the game, did you not?
Well, you guys have been talking about how David Freese and his wife Marin are expecting a child. It's a baby boy, and everyone is doing fine. November 20th is the due date. Freese told me he saw ultrasound pictures of the baby for the first time over the All-Star break. He said, quote, "I was shaking. I was so overwhelmed." Dan, the Freeses have a name picked out for the boy, but they're not telling anyone what it is. Freese did shoot down the story that you've seen buzzing around on social media. They haven't named the boy Jimmy after me. Dan Freese said he wanted Jimmy. The wife was having none of it. None of it.
Jimmy Freese. One of our favorites, David Freese and Jim Hayes. Here's Gregory Polanco. Base hit by Freese to right. Polanco a double. A single tied the game at 2 in the 5th in game 1 of this series, and he was the runner that was picked off at 3rd, and to his credit met with the media and said, look, it's my fault. We all know about Yadier Molina. We were shown video time and again about Molina. In those types of situations, exactly how I was picked off, this is completely on me. Just another heads-up play by Jerko and Molina.
Don't turn your back to Molina. Also, I'd like to see him come out of the box today and see how hard he runs. He also acknowledged that he thought that ball was out and he should have had a stand-up triple, but he didn't run hard. He thought it was a home run and just was able to settle with a double, and then gets to 3rd and a ground ball out and get picked off by a Yachty.
One ball and 1 strike on Polanco. No score here in the bottom of the 2nd.
Thought about bunting. There's nobody on the left side of the infield. So he saw that and said, well, I'll just take an easy base hit.
Cardinals with Jerko, the 3rd baseman, on the right side of the infield. DeYoung at short, but near the bag at 2nd.
Interesting how one of the two, the 3rd baseman or 2nd baseman, not on the outfield grass, still on the dirt.
Short lead at first. The 3-1 pitch is driven out to center. Under it, Fowler makes the catch. Back to first goes Freese. The Cardinals defense with Pham, Fowler, and Martinez in the outfield. Jerko, DeYoung, Carpenter, and Voit on the infield. Molina behind the plate. Round the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Seeing more of that with outfielders around the game. Putting a little cheat sheet in the back of their pocket to figure out positioning on certain hitters.
There's just so much information available to players today.
Here's Cervelli. He was 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts last night. It's a fly ball into right, and Martinez can't come up with it. Freese on his way to 3rd, and runners at the corners.
Usually you're trying to keep it in front of you, but he actually deflects it towards Fowler, center fielder. Trying to make the shoestring catch. Gets down. Runners at the corners with 1 out. You have 8 place hitter and then the pitcher spot due up. Key bat right here.
Jordy Mercer, good numbers against Lance Lynn. 8 for 23. 3 doubles, a home run, and he's driven in 7. There's strike 1. Had a walk and a single last night. There are the numbers. His on-base percentage for a guy that's hitting in the 8th spot in the lineup, very respectable at .350.
It's not always easy in that 8th spot because a lot of times they're trying to pitch around you, so you can't expand your zone. He's got 7 RBIs against Lance Lynn too, so he's gotten some big hits. Home run, 3 doubles.
Mercer is grounded into a team high 11 double plays. Lynn would love number 12 right here. May get it. Out at second to first, double play. 4-6-3. Nice turn by Paul DeYoung, the shortstop of the Cardinals tonight. The ground ball that was hit by Jordy Mercer. 4-6-3 on the double play. And we're scoreless here in Pittsburgh. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by your local St. Louis area Volkswagen dealers. So look at Point State Park here in Pittsburgh. There's no score as we move to the top of the 3rd. It'll be Jose Martinez, Lance Lynn, and Matt Carpenter. Jamison Tyone is a very good story. He had surgery back on May 8th after discovering a lump in his hotel room in Cincinnati on May 2nd. He thought he could explain the symptoms during spring training when he had fatigue, he had soreness in the groin region, and he thought, well, maybe I'd lifted a little bit too much with my legs. He has had multiple hernia surgeries. He was starting to get migraine headaches, and he was sleeping nearly 10 to 12 hours, and normally he's an early riser, so he knew something was not right. Went to the team doctors of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and within a week diagnosed with testicular cancer. His brother Jordan is a pulmonary and critical doctor in Florida. There's always been Jameson's sounding board. And one way that the family dealt with it is that he started a text message thread with their family to explain exactly what was happening. If he had a blood test, ultrasound, whatever the case may be, his brother, who's a doctor by 9 years older, was able to explain it to the rest of the family. 1-2 is taken low. And understandably, he asked the question, why me? And now he said, I'm glad I've gone through all the CT scans and the MRIs and ultrasounds, blood test. He was told that the cancer was contained, and now he's made it a point to help others.
Well, for whatever reason, he was a pretty good pitcher. About a 3.31 ERA before surgery. But he's under 2 since surgery. Pitching very well.
He's had 5 starts since he had the surgery with a 1.98 ERA, and including tonight has not allowed a run in 17 1/3 consecutive innings. Strikeout of Martinez.
Longest scoreless streak in the National League. The start of the game, Brett Cecil was a higher one, but now that he's pitched a couple innings, he's passed up Brett.
One of the first players to reach out to him was a Colorado Rocky as he made his return on June 12th, ironically enough, against the Rockies. And it was Chad Bettis, who's had to fight with chemotherapy to also battle testicular cancer that is spread now throughout his body. But he said Chad Bettis was one of the first players that reached out to him. Ground ball slowly hit by Lynn, batting left-handed. He said one of the toughest parts for him right now is trying to just respond to all the emails and the text messages and the phone calls that he gets, because there's so many people in and around the game of sports that know about him because of his platform that are going through similar things that he's done. But to his credit, he said, you know what, a piece of my manhood was taken away, but I'm more of a man now than I ever was before.
Well, good for him.
Here's Carpenter with 2 outs. There's ball 1. He singled to left, first time up. Apparently he loves to drink coffee too. He's a huge coffee drinker. So he went to a local company to design a roast of coffee with proceeds benefiting cancer research. And David Freese's wife, who is an artist, has developed the cover of those coffee grounds. And all proceeds will go to cancer research. You just pull for guys like this.
Story. Well, we could pull for him to get a no decision there.
There you go.
Get a reliever a loss.
The breaking ball taken just a little bit low. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike on Matt Carpenter. Pirates have won 6 of 7. And pitching has really carried this team. They've allowed only 18 runs in the last 7 games. 3-2 the count. And a ground ball as he hits it into the shift. There's Josh Harrison. And a 1-2-3 inning. No score midway through 3. Baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Cardinal home screen icons, app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Jamison Tyone, Adam Frazier, and Josh Harrison were the Pirates here in the third. He's 1 for 18 this year. And a ground ball, tap back to Lynn, underhands to Luke Voigt for the out. Let's turn to our Toyota keys to the game this season against the Central Division. The only loss for Lance Lynn has been against these Pirates. 8 starts and a record of 4-1.
Yeah, much better against the Central Division. More accustomed to them. And as you said, he's 1-1 with a 5 ERA against the Buccos this year. 3-5 with a higher ERA. 4.26 outside the Central Division.
Here's Frazier, 25-year-old from Nashville, Tennessee. Outstanding college player, 6th round pick in 2013 out of Mississippi State. And at that time, he was a shortstop. As he lines that foul, he's been getting a lot of time in the outfield with the suspension of Starling Marte. There's been 57 former Mississippi State Bulldogs that have made it to Major League Baseball. There were 6 on opening day this past year. Most prominent players, I think you'd have to say Rafael Palmeiro, and former Cardinal, at least finished up in St. Louis, Will Clark.
Had a pretty good team back then.
Oh,
you know,
Jeff
Brantley.
Brantley. And the 1-2 is a ground ball that's hit to Carpenter. 2 down. July 28th, 30,000 fans 16 and older have the opportunity to take home a replica of the 1967 World Series trophy. It's a version that stands 6.5 inches tall, and it's an item you will not want to miss. July 28th, Cardinals and Diamondbacks. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
You know who else is on that team? Was Chris Maloney. And from what I remember of Jeff Brantley telling me that Maloney was the first baseman, and then something happened and Will Clark got an opportunity to play, and the rest is history. But Hammer was considered a very, very good college player.
Here's Harrison, who's 0 for 6 in this series thus far. No balls and 2 strikes.
Now Lance Lynn has kind of learned a little bit like what Martinez did, you know, Carlos Martinez. You don't have to max out every pitch. You can pitch at lower speeds, maybe give yourself better command, and then when you have the ability to reach back when you get into a jam and try and ask for that little extra velocity. And before he had the Tommy John surgery, he's always thrown a high percentage of fastballs, but it hurt him to throw the breaking ball, so he threw exclusively fastballs. Now his secondary pitches are much better.
Harrison, now a 2-time All-Star. 29 driven in against the Cardinals in his career. That's the most against any team. I guess that's why I've always thought he's a real good player too. He's a good one. The 2-2. He came over from the Chicago Cubs with 2 pitchers for John Grabo and Tom Gorzolani in 2009.
Sometimes you get a fresh start, new scenery.
And he strikes out. First strikeout for Lance Lynn. That'll send us to the 4th. It'll be Pham, Fowler, Jerko. 2, 3, and 4 coming up. Anniversary of your favorite Peanuts character, Charlie Brown. Thursday, July 27th. Fans purchasing a special theme ticket receive their own exclusive Charlie Brown bobblehead, and tickets are at cardinals.com/theme. Here's Tommy Pham, and a breaking ball taken high. A base hit to left his first time up.
It's the last base runner the Cardinals received.
Cardinals started tonight with back-to-back hits as Pham hits it out to right, and Polanco won't get there. One hops off the wall. Pham racing to second base, and he's 2 for 2. Just keeps on hitting.
You know what I love about him is he's not satisfied. He's 2 for 2, but he's wanting to get another stolen base. He wants to go 3 for 3 and then 4 for 4. You know, he just tries to excel. Not content just with having a good game with 2 hits already.
Leadoff double, Tommy Pham. Here's Dexter Fowler, grounded into a double play, first time up. And takes ball 1.
Or at least pull the ball, get Pham over to third. Hopefully drive him in.
Here's a 1-0. Pulls it to the right side. Not an easy play for Harrison. And advancing to third, Tommy Pham.
Said did his job there. You know, obviously wanted to drive him in, but get him over to third with less than 2 outs. Cardinals should be able to pick up the first run of this game.
And it brings in Jed Jerko. You hear so much about launch angle, and Jed Jerko is a prime example of a player in today's day and age of the game that has a little bit of that uppercut swing to beat the shift, and it's by design as the infield is drawn in.
Surprised with that? Drawing the infield in?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not anticipating either club to shut out the other. So here early in this ball game, Guess they figured too, though, with that launch angle, he'd hit the ball in the air. So
right.
He's not going to hit a ball on the ground or something.
And there it is. Base hit out to left. And it's 1-0 Cardinals. Jerko drives in his team high 48. And Tommy Pham has now scored in 4 straight games. 1-0 Cardinals.
Well, Pham and Jerko scored it and drove it in, but also give credit to Fowler for getting him over to third base. So when you pull the infield in, you really, that ball's going to be split the difference between the third baseman and shortstop, but you play back normal depth and you have a little more range on something like that. That one's going to go through.
The Cardinals had been 0 for 7 in this series with runners in scoring position. So 1-0 our score. Yadier Molina, ground ball that he hit to short first time up.
Jerko almost took off. Took a couple steps and then thought wiser of it. Went back towards first or stopped.
It may surprise some folks. He's got 5 stolen bases.
Oh, you know, I mean, Yachty surprises a lot of people with his steals. And I go back to a teammate of mine, Joe Ferguson, who was a big catcher, outfielder. And he felt that everyone should steal at least 10 bases. You know, especially the big guys, because pitchers forget about it. You know, they never anticipate it. And you know, he studied it, and you study moves and everything, and get that good jump and catch people napping.
Here's a 1-2 to Molina instead of check on Jerko. Jed with a lot of family and friends from Morgantown, West Virginia, not too far away from here.
I talked to him yesterday. He said a little more than an hour. You know, he went home for the break, so it was absolutely perfect for him.
His family legendary status in Morgantown. His older brother was a linebacker with the Mountaineers at West Virginia. Jed, an outstanding college baseball player, was the top infielder his junior season before being drafted by San Diego. And Molina pops it up to the right side and out of play. For Tyone, that snaps his scoreless streak at 18 2/3. So Brett Cecil is the active leader for all pitchers.
Yeah, way to go, Brett. Brett is 15 2/3 innings and 15 games.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Jerko wants to run again.
Keeps on getting out there and starting to take off, and then gets cold feet, stops.
Molina hits it out of play. I want to go. I want to go.
It's like Lou Brock. But Don Gullett was the toughest pitcher for him to ever steal against, because he never threw to first base. Every time he got a lead, he said, I know he's never thrown over, but he's going to do it this time.
Hit down the right field line and out of play. So a lot of Cardinal fans on the walk back to the team hotel last night. More and more, I think we see St. Louis fans make the trip here to Pittsburgh to see this ballpark specifically.
You know, when people
ask
rave
us
about it, you know, we all recommend this is one of the best venues to come to, other than Busch Stadium. That put AT&T, San Francisco's ballpark, in that same category.
And the 1-2 pitch, instead of check on Jerko, and just back in there. I think he was stuck in the mud. Clint Hurdle, you get a look at the manager of the Pirates as Jerko is back in safely. He was ejected last night, third ejection of his career in Pittsburgh.
Always go to that back part of the base. He got back cleanly.
Here's a 1-2. Yeah, Clint was actually saying after the game, that was my fault. And he went to the video room of the Pirates and they showed him second base umpire had his hands up. His time was called. And remember, Adam Frazier was trying to take second base. He didn't realize that, went out to argue, and then was tossed. And the 1-2 pitch again. Molina serves it into right. Polanco is over, makes the catch. Jerko hustling back to the bag, and he is out.
I may look at this one too.
And the Cardinals will not challenge. So double play, the second double play the Cardinals have hit into tonight. They do grab an early lead. Seagrass back and healthy last night, available in the pen for the Cardinals. With more on that, let's check in with Jimmy.
Dan, the Cardinals are trying to figure out a role that best suits Kevin Seagrass. Mike Matheny says it will pretty much come down to how Kevin pitches. He's fresh off the DL where he was dealing with a cervical spine sprain. That's the area behind the back of the base of the neck. He's been battling it for quite some time. He says pitching through it got him into some bad habits with his mechanics. Al mentioned it last night, but Seagrass says he was extending his plant foot too far. He says that made him throw across his body. He told me, looking at the video made me realize I had to hit the reset button on my delivery. He says shortening his stride and being more compact with his mechanics will save his shoulder from unnecessary stress, and he's hoping, Dan, it will also increase his velocity.
Velocity has been a little bit down for the Cardinals with Seagrass. We've seen that, well documented. Thank you, Jimmy. And you get a look at Carpenter with the throw offline to Voit, and that's the 9th error on Matt Carpenter this year.
You saw his launch angle, the way he threw the ball was elevated, and Cutchin doesn't run like he did earlier in his career, but still the leadoff man on base.
And here is last night's hero, Josh Bell. He's the Pirates' 5th walk-off this year. First ever hit by Bell in the major leagues. He had one at Double-A, the 3-run homer of a Seung-Hwan Oh. He had 4 RBIs in the ball game last night. You can see he's a big man, and he's dropped nearly 40 pounds in the last year and a half, and he credits hot yoga for that. In the offseason, he does about 100 sessions of hot yoga. And he said that really helped him drop a lot of weight, get flexibility. Talked about Pilates for Matt Adams, how that's been very beneficial for him. Two balls and 1 strike. Look at the rookies in the perfect pair presented by State Farm. Josh Bell, 2nd in home runs. DeYoung, 1st in average. Cody Bellinger with 25 home runs for the Dodgers. Under the glove of Jerko. And Lance Lynn is about ready to lose it.
You could see glove to the mouth, and throws a base hit, but should have been at least knocked down. And if he catches it cleanly, it's another double play.
And all intents and purposes, this should be 2 outs.
There's
and it brings in David Freese, who's singled to right. David, a .314 career hitter against his hometown team. Back to Lynn. High throw, but the double play. 1-4-3 on the double play.
Lance had to wait for somebody to get to the bag as the ball was hit sharply, and Carpenter, that Freese hits a lot of balls to right field. So he gets back there and he hesitates, throws it right over the bag, a little bit high, but then Carpenter gets it. Nice return throw, and now with 2 outs, the lead runner gets to third base. So partial redemption.
Like how Carpenter just let that go out of necessity, but you talk about it all the time. If you baby a throw, sometimes you get under it, or it tails, or it's a little bit high.
Yeah, and I think and that's what happened when the throw to the leadoff hitter, McCutchen, is he kind of got underneath it, pushed it up, resulting in the high throw. So that time he made sure he got the high throw and got down with the downward plane on his throw.
The strike on the inside corner to Polanco. Anytime I see a comebacker to Lance Lynn and the potential of a double play, I think about postseason play against the Giants when the Cardinals were 1 win away from going to the World Series in 2012. Wound up being an error. Things unraveled. Giants came back and won that series. Sorry to bring bad memories back.
Just marvel at times your memory.
Why do I remember these things? Can't add
I
2
know
and
why.
2. The 1-1 pitch to Polanco. Just missed.
But what we say as a closer, you have to have a short memory.
That's right.
I qualify. I was watching Joey Cora during batting practice.
And a fly ball out to left field and Tommy Pham.
He was coming down the line practicing waving runners home.
We got to get the arm loose.
Never
just
seen
in
that.
case. Happy birthday to Seung-Hwan Oh. He's 35. And the radio voice of the Cardinals, Mike Shannon, happy 78th birthday.
I knew it was in July, but happy birthday, boys.
Luke Voigt, hot shot past Freese and into left field. When you think of third base in 1967 and trying to make those types of plays, you think Mike Shannon. He moved from right field to third base as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of that team this year. The Cardinals needed to replace Charlie Smith, who was traded to the Yankees for Roger Maris. And there was a special instructional camp that was held in St. Petersburg by George Kissel, and he put Mike through all the drills, moving from right field to third base. Red Schoendienst was, of course, the manager at that time. And Mike told me he had to beat out Ed Spezio, Phil Gagliano. Grab the copy there, Jim Jackson. Jerry Buchek, Ted Savage as well. And he made the transition. It wasn't always smooth, but they wanted to keep the bats of Cepeda, Maris, and Shannon in that lineup. And Mike Shannon finished second to Cepeda that year in RBIs. He had 77. Cepeda was the MVP. He had 111. But Mike told me that Red Schoendienst would get 40 feet away, 40 feet, and hit rockets at him at third base, just trying to get ready to play third that season for the St. Louis Cardinals. And without that transition, there's some that believe the Cardinals don't win the World Series of 1967. Very, very important piece.
People may not remember, but he had a cannon of an arm. That's why he was the right fielder, and so it was logical to put that strong arm over at third base. Such a great athlete. You know, a lot of people believed if he would have stayed in college at Mizzou, that he could have been a Heisman candidate as a quarterback.
Here's Jose Martinez, and a ball low.
He originally scored an error on David Freese and changed it to a base hit for Luke Voigt.
What a team that was, though. 1967, loaded with stars. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Jose Martinez.
And I'll freak out some of our young listeners. That team used a total of 31 players for the entire year. They used 13 pitchers for the entire year. And remember, Bob Gibson was out for 2 months with a broken leg. Now, just about all these clubs carry 12 or 13 pitchers and feel naked if they have less.
And a ball taken low. It was 50 years ago today that Bob Gibson broke his leg on a comebacker hit by Roberto Clemente. It was July 15th, 1967.
Why don't we call him and see, let you remind him of that?
I talked to him just 2 weeks ago about it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the anniversary. I'm sure he'd be very happy to receive a call.
Clemente led off the fourth inning. Ball that struck off the shin of Bob Gibson. It was a base hit, and he didn't know it immediately, but he had cracked a bone in his fibula. And amazingly, he stayed in the game. He would walk Willie Stargell. He was the next hitter. Bill Mazeroski flied out, and then with the third hitter up, Bob on a delivery collapsed to the ground, and it snapped and separated at the bone. The amazing thing, and he told me this a couple of weeks ago, the cast was put on immediately. He was throwing a week after that incident off a mound. And do you remember Johnny Lewis?
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Lewis played for the Cardinals, was then at that time in the front office.
Yeah.
And Johnny Lewis would catch Bob Gibson with a cast on. So as Bob tells it, he came back and the arm was still in very good shape, and the rest is history as he would win 3 games in that 1967 World Series. Just an amazing story.
Well, I think you're not even doing him justice with 3 wins. I think it was 3 wins with 3 complete games, and probably the 3rd one on 2 days rest.
Here is Lance Lynn. with 2 outs and a runner at first. And Lynn, a base hit. That's into the gap in left center. And Voit on his way to third. It's mishandled, and he'll score. Lance Lynn, batting left-handed, drives the ball in the gap in left center. Misplayed out there. And Luke Voit, hustling all the way, makes it a 2-0 St. Louis lead.
Well, he's a much better hitter left-handed, Dan.
Launch angle.
Launch angle. Analytics says that. But out there in left center, here McCutchen, former Gold Glover. Ball gets underneath the glove. That allowed Voit to come around third and score the second run of this ball game. So Lance Lynn, who started hitting left-handed 2 or 3 starts ago. It's his first hit left-handed, his 3rd hit on the year, and his first RBI. 6th RBI in his career.
Aaron McCutchen is 3rd, and now it's Carpenter. 2-0 our score. When you think of mean, tough, menacing players, Bob Gibson's at the top of the list, and that just kind of solidifies it with that story. That was 50 years ago today. The double for Lynn. He's got a total of 22 hits in his career. 5 have been doubles. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Carpenter.
Trade places with him.
He is singled to left and grounded out to second.
Mentioned that he missed his last start with food poisoning, hadn't made a start since July the 4th, and they were a little concerned about his stamina.
Here's a 1-2. Carpenter up the middle, base hit. Here comes Lance Lynn. He'll score, and it's 3-0 Cardinals. The RBI for Carpenter, number 43. He has 2 hits and a 3-0 St. Louis lead.
Get Lance sit down a little bit. Look at how far outside that pitch is, and he hooks it and just hits it right up the middle. Finds a hole. Lance comes home and give him the oxygen.
He's got to steal it though from Luke Voit.
I think a minute ago you said he was, how fit he was.
Muscly. Not worried about.
Muscly?
Yeah, I'm not worried about long distances or sprints. Here's Tommy Pham. He's 2 for 2. Base hit to left. And an RBI that, or rather, run scored on the RBI by Jed Jerko, as Pham would double over Polanco in right field. Carpenter is running, and a stolen base, his 2nd of the year.
It looks like, the way Jerko was trying to get the leads, that they want to steal off him. If they get a comfortable lead, they're going to go. But think about it too. Here's a pitcher, young pitcher, that's kind of getting a little gassed, or you're worried about that a little bit, and so his concentration can be more on the plate.
That's ripped, and it's fair inside the third base line. Carpenter will score. It's 4-0. Pham on his way to second, standing up. He's 3 for 3 with 2 doubles. And it's a 4-0 Cardinals lead. Ball was scorched off his bat.
35th double for Tommy Pham. Just mentioned 3 for 3. Playing inspired baseball both offensively and defensively. How hard he hit this ball. Frees way off the line, then goes off that side wall. So Frazier, the left fielder, had to come in and get it, guaranteeing the double.
It's the 5th 3-hit game for Tommy Pham. It was called up in early May, and the 3rd of those 5 with 2 doubles. And it's a 4-0 Cardinals lead.
Ray Surge there, recognized one of the best pitching coaches.
Juan Mirena is throwing in the Pirates bullpen.
I remember when Ray Surge was a Cardinal farmhand.
Here's Dexter Fowler.
Great places with him.
Voigt's single was 107 miles per hour off the bat past David Freese. Pham's even harder than that one moments ago at 110 off the bat. Here's a 1-0.
What's the average?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably around 90, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say in high 80s or something like that. But when you start getting above 100, you're buggy whipping it.
Yep. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Dexter Fowler. 3-0. Jed Jerko on deck.
As I mentioned, Pirate personnel was telling me that they'd be thrilled to death if they could get 5 innings out of him. Was very ill with the food poisoning on Sunday. Couldn't make the start.
Swinging on 3-0 and a fly ball out to left, backing up Frazier, and he makes the catch on the edge of the track. The offense coming alive with 2 outs. Lance Land, Matt Carpenter, and Tommy Pham. It's 4-0. The T-Mobile Unlimited baseball break. And Madison Bumgarner returns tonight for the Giants at San Diego. Dallas Keuchel making a rehab start on Monday. He's been out since the 5th of June. Neck discomfort. And the rich only get richer there when you think about Houston and just how well they have played this year. 61-29, and they get a lefty that won the Cy Young a few years ago back in their rotation.
Yeah, I guess they've done all right without him. Michael's from Tulsa area, Oklahoma.
Here's Francisco Cervelli, who singled in right after the diving attempt by Jose Martinez.
All 3 runs last inning by the Cardinals were all earned, but because of the error, Lance Lynn does not get an RBI.
Astros leading again tonight against Minnesota 2-1. And the Twins announcing today that Bartolo Colon will get a start on Tuesday for them. Low throw, but the stretch by Voit, and Cervelli is out number 1. 33-11. The highest winning percentage on the road all time is .750 by Houston so far this year. So not only winning their home ballpark, but winning on the road.
Got some young players too that should be a team to deal with for several years.
Oh yeah. Here's Jordy Mercer. We thank all of you that tuned in. I guess it was last Friday. We had our This One's For You, and you may recall that we had a young lady that was pregnant, and I mean really pregnant. Came on the air. I was concerned. But anyway, her name is Kayla, and the husband Jeremy is stationed overseas, and Kayla and Jeremy Seymour had a brand new baby today. The baby's name is Riley, so great news.
Congratulations. Thought it was going to be Dan.
No sir, I'm not Jim Hayes. I'm not telling the Freezes to name me Jimmy.
I'm still working on Luke Voit and Jimmy doing hot yoga this winter.
You never know. Here's a 2-1 pitch, and it's 2-2. The 2-2 right down the middle, and a strikeout of Mercer. Number 2 tonight for Lynn. There was a dinosaur out here before the game. And look at Matt Bowman. He's got it down.
He learned that at Princeton. You know, pitchers got to get their sprints in.
It's one way to do it. Phil Gosselin is the pinch hitter for Tyone. Hits from the right side. Here's the 0-1. Another fastball. And the 0-2. Spoiled. The fastball again at 93 miles an hour. And it's been fastball after fastball here for Lance Lynn. Arcia in the driver's seat. Highest fastball usage this year. Lynn at nearly 80%.
Almost to the point when you add his cutter to it, you know, it's like 95%. You can sink it, you can ride it, cut it.
To me, that last pitch is a real good example of the right-handers and how he can cut it in with a little sink.
Little sink, just enough, you know.
Just like that.
Came in, right-handers batting 177 against him. .210 all batters against him, 4th best in the National League.
0-2 pitch is hit out of play.
See there, that to me is more of a slurve. A lot of times what they call a cutter today is really an old-fashioned slider, and that big sweeping one is more of a slurve.
And the 0-2. You never know. Could this be one of the final starts for Lynn in a Cardinals uniform? Free agent to be. Do the Cardinals and Lynn's representatives get together before the trade deadline? Not to say that they have to get a deal done by August, but it's something to think about. 0-2 pitch.
Wow. Right over the trainer's head, yeah. I wonder if Wainwright got that haircut on that ball, or you do it in a barbershop. Which way? No. Pay attention.
There's the slider.
Carlos protecting himself.
Martinez will go tomorrow, game 3 of this series. It's a day game. Up the middle and a base hit for Gosselin.
Gosselin was recalled from Indianapolis, the AAA affiliate, on the 8th of this month. It was his 3rd stint with the Buccos. He's an infielder.
Adam Frazier is 0 for 2. The Pirates are 3rd from the bottom in the National League in average at .242. They get Starling Marte back on Tuesday night. The fastball misses in. And a 1-0.
Now you're going to slow Lance down a little bit.
Reminder for all soccer fans, coming up, it's soccer night at Busch Stadium presented by Barrister's Restaurant. Monday, July 24th, and fans purchasing a special theme ticket receive an exclusive St. Louis Cardinals soccer jersey. Get your soccer night theme tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
Good looking jersey.
Yes, sir. The 2-0 pitch. .70 pitches total, and 20 here in inning number 5.
First 4 innings were pretty good. You can have that rate.
Inning started with a ground out by Cervelli to short. Mercer struck out looking. Gosselin a long at bat. A base hit into center. Now 3-1 the count on Adam Frazier. 3-2.
Full count, so Voit will play behind him.
glove and into right field. Runners at the corners. Extends the inning to Josh Harrison.
They battled all the way back, and ball was hit sharply, got underneath. But that's the purpose for playing behind the runner, is give yourself a better defensive positioning. A stutter step and a dive, try to block it, gets underneath them. After 2 outs, they have something covered, and Derek Willerquist, as much as anything, is just to give Lance a break and say, hey, and a couple balls that maybe you think might have been caught or knocked down, and they've gone on through for base hits. But still got a shutout going, and still have a 4-0 lead.
Chicago is 6-0 lead. That's in the top of the 5th. Jake Arrieta making that start and pitching at Camden Yards for the first time since he was traded back in 2013. And last night, the Cubs had an 8-0 lead. Then the Orioles tied it up 8-8. They eventually won 9-8. And Jose Quintana will make his Cubs debut tomorrow. The Phillies and Brewers are scoreless. That's in the 4th. Jimmy Nelson against Aaron Nola. Now, you were asking earlier about the average exit velocity in Major League Baseball. It's 87.1. The highest in the game is Aaron Judge at 97.1. Luke Voit, small sample size, is 4th in the major leagues with Ryan Braun at 94. It was Judge, then Sano of Minnesota, Joey Gallo of Texas, and then Braun and Voit.
And Aaron Judge, what, highest recorded this year, about almost a little under 120.
Right. Another fastball, and Harrison could not catch up. That one at 95, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's what we talk about. You know, at times the pitches with lower velocity and saving that little extra when you get into a jam like this. Runners at the corners, 2 outs, so now you kind of air it out. The art of pitching is getting ahead in the count and then not having to throw another strike. Getting a hitter to expand his zone and get himself out. Looks like he's way off the plate, doesn't he?
Yep.
He first called a slider. Now he shook it off fastball.
Two and two the count on Harrison. Puts it in play. Fly ball out to right. Martinez makes the catch. So the Pirates strand 2 and due up for the Cardinals. Jet Jerko. It's 4-0. Nice with Fox Sports Go. Download the app. Take Fox Sports Midwest and Cardinals baseball with you wherever you go. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, a 4-0 lead for the St. Louis Cardinals. And our look around the American League tonight as we start the second half. The East, Boston 51-39, 3.5 in front of Tampa Bay, 4.5 in front of New York. They had a walk-off win last night. They've got one of the game's best in the back end. Craig Kimbrell, one of the best to start. Chris Sale, 26-14 at home, best in the American League. Will be at Fenway Park coming up later this year. Here's Jed Jerko. Juan Mareñez in relief of Tyone.
Should be called the bullpen. Mareñez was claimed off of waivers May 19th from Milwaukee.
Milwaukee trying to bolster the back end of their bullpen. They've just signed Jenmar Gomez, who was closing games out a year ago for the Phillies.
And they're playing the Phillies tonight, and it's a scoreless game.
Monday pitch arsenal for Mareñez. Ryan Braun had a grand slam last night. Phillies, the worst record right now in the major leagues. 0-2 the count. Jerko with a base hit to left and an RBI. That was back in inning number 4. He lines that foul and out of play. And the 0-2. Tyone, 5 innings tonight, 4 runs on 8 hits. So he struck out 5 and did not walk a man. As you get a look at Clint Hurdle, the manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Inside.
Those right-handed batters are going to see basically fastball slider from Mareñez. Does he go? Well, it could have gone either way, but I think he was the swing kind of followed through trying to get out of the way of the pitch. Time you've seen that side angle, it almost always looks like it comes through.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Outfield is deep. Inside.
Fastball's in, then the slider sweeping away from him.
Full count on Jed Jerko. Big crowd here tonight at PNC Park.
One of the better crowds we've ever seen here.
Fights it off. Stays alive. And he draws a leadoff walk. That's how we start play here in the 6th. StubHub is your ticket out to once-in-a-lifetime experiences, from Cardinal games to amazing concerts to shows you just don't want to miss. StubHub connects you with the world of live. StubHub, your ticket out, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. We just saw Clint Hurdle, the manager of the Pirates. He says that his inspiration in his life is his daughter Maddie. He's diagnosed with Prader-Willi syndrome. It's a disorder that leads to behavioral issues and the inability to feel full when you eat. 1 in 25,000 infants get that, and he has raised a ton of awareness and money for that particular syndrome for children. It's a very positive man. as that's hit out to deep right center. McCutchen makes the catch up against the wall, and that fly ball off the bat of Yadier Molina. Clint actually sends out daily text messages and emails to players, whether it's current, former, staff, front office, people that aren't even involved in the game of baseball. But he's been through a lot, and he's done a good job here in Pittsburgh.
I was with Kansas City when Clint was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, the Phenom.
Luke Voigt pops it up a mile high. This time of night, tough to see as Harrison makes the catch, trying to deke the runner. Jerko at first by saying he couldn't see it. May not have initially, but he got it.
Yeah, I think so, but you're right. He was giving all indications that he couldn't see it, and yet he's underneath it. There you see trying to deke it, but he spotted that ball and knew exactly where it was and trying to trick.
There's Paul DeJong, who is 0 for 2.
7-game hitting streak on the line.
Clint was hired in 2010 by the Pirates. Took the Colorado Rockies in that just remarkable run at the end of the season to get into the playoffs, and then they lost in the World Series to the Boston Red Sox. Here's a 1-0. Ouch. So he played with Kansas City, the Reds, Mets, and your St. Louis Cardinals. Jed Jerko. I thought Harrison may have been playing tricks, and Jerko, a little smile about that too.
That's what he was trying to do. Deke him into thinking he couldn't see it, but you really kind of watched his body language. His arms were out there like he couldn't see it, but he was studying straight up and moving back on the ball because he knew where it was.
Ball gets away from Bell, but Jerko stays put.
He got hit with the ball. Not so funny now. Going back in here, and Bell misses it, and it hits the side of Jerko, right underneath the armpit. Gets away from Bell, but no advancement. I'm ready to see another long ball from Paul DeJong.
The amazing thing about Paul DeJong, this being his 86th game of the year combined from AAA and the major leagues. Already 22 home runs this year combined. 9 of those hit with the Cardinals.
13 in Memphis before he got here.
1-2 pitch. And he strikes out. Morena is a leadoff walk, and then the Cardinals go in order. Midway through 6, 4-0. 16 and older on July 29th. Take home a unique throwback jersey replica 1919 pinstripe Cardinals jersey. Stay in your seats after the game. Fireworks brought to you by Fabic Cat. And tickets are at cardinals.com/promotions. Andrew McCutchen will lead it off. 4-0 our score. Came in batting .330 here at home.
By Lance Lynn. He had 7 shutout innings in his last start. 5 shutout innings here tonight.
Just a handful of breaking balls along the way.
Yeah.
McCutchen has reached on an error and also singled. He fouls that back. He was the player of the month in June for the National League. And a key to last night's game when you think about how well he's swinging the bat and why the Cardinals did not want to pitch to him, but yet even with the numbers of 0 against lefties, go with that matchup. Potentially walk McCutchen, pitch to Bell, and he hit a homer out to center, and Fowler makes the catch. It brings in Josh Bell, who is 1 for 2 with a single to left.
Bell was the hero last night, switch hitter. So batting against O, hit from the left side and just hit it right down in the left field corner. Shortest part of the field.
12 of his 17 home runs hit from this side. He was a second-round pick in 2011, and he signed for over $5 million as a second-round player. That was a record at the time for a player outside the first round. He was going to go to the University of Texas. Graduated from Jesuit College Prep in Texas. Same high school as Jordan Spieth of the PGA. Their player of the year in the minor leagues a season ago. The 1-1.
I didn't realize he's lost 40 pounds the last couple of years. I thought he was bigger last year when we saw him.
And you'll notice whether the Pirates are in St. Louis or here at home, he is out early taking ground balls as they're really trying to work on his defense at first base. They always have felt he could hit at this level, hit for power, which we're seeing, but the day-to-day grind of playing defense at this level.
People in the first row as this ball coming right at him. Young lady's a little late in reacting.
The 2-2. Slowly hit towards the right side. Carpenter makes the play. That's out number 2. It was this date in 1973. Nolan Ryan threw his second career no-hitter. Good play here by Carpenter. Norm Cash was the final out, came to the plate with a table leg, literally. And the umpire, and you may remember this, Al, said, grab a bat, got to do this properly. He would pop out, that would end it. It would be the second no-hitter for Nolan Ryan, who wound up with 7. And think about this, he was close to 12 no-hitters because he took 5 no-hitters and lost him in the 9th inning. 5 of them.
Yeah, the amazing thing about Nolan was his winningest games or seasons were really kind of where most people were retired. And when he first came up, yeah, he could throw hard and real hard, but guys could time him, and he was a 5-inning pitcher, and they'd get to him. But then when he started coming up with the breaking pitches to go along with the fastball, and he had a mean streak, and you were allowed to do that back then. He really became a winner late in his career.
7 no-hitters, incredible.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think other than Ricky Horton, you know, I mean, he was a tough draw. You know.
This is the one time I thought I could bring up Nolan Ryan and not
hear about Horton's first hit.
First hit. Hey, Ricky, who'd you get? Nolan Ryan. Oh yeah. Thanks a lot, Al. The one time we didn't have to hear about it.
Erase it.
2-2 with 2 outs and nobody on. David Freese at the plate. 1 for 2 tonight. Base hit to right, and also a double play.
But Nolan was a freak of nature, you know, to do what he did for as long as he did. He was traded. Jim Fregosi went from the Angels to the Mets, and that's how Nolan got to Anaheim.
Strikeout of Freese,
and about 2 decades later, he's still pitching.
Freese didn't like it. It's a strikeout for Lynn, his 3rd tonight. Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. It'll be Jose Martinez, then Lynn's spot. Nobody getting loose in the Cardinals pen yet. And the top of the lineup, Matt Carpenter. The Cardinals found out about Randal Grichuk, as Jim reported earlier, right at the tail end of the All-Star break, and then Martinez called up from Memphis. Memphis currently the best record of any team in AAA. They're 58-33 under first-year manager Stubby Clapp. Carson Kelly had the walk-off hit yesterday. He's already homered tonight. And Luke Weaver's trying to go to 8-1 for Memphis. Martinez hits it out of play. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts.
In the minor leagues is for development, but I think when you get to, you know, anytime you can win, it's a positive, and get young guys, particularly from AA to AAA, getting used to playing on winning baseball, and then when they get the jump to the major leagues, they just think that's second nature.
Here's the 0-2. Cervelli and Jose Martinez have been very, and I mean very, active and vocal about what's happening in their home country of Venezuela. Political climate is awful. Cervelli talks openly about crime and murder on the streets in his hometown. Jose Martinez telling me the other day that he has attempted to send clothing and various items back to his country, but he gets stopped at the border and seized. Yep. He's able to wire some money back, but that's limited. But Cervelli has really kind of made it his mission, the Pirates catcher, to be on social media, to be interviewed about this, to get the word out on what's happening. He wants that attention to be made known, what's happening in his home country.
I believe it was tonight during some of the batting practice, or late in the batting practice, where he was on the video board talking about.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, and like you're saying, that it's a shame because in some ways that country is very rich, has a lot of money with the oil, but it's not getting to the masses. Food shortages,
medicine,
yeah, anything like that, anything that we take for granted.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Paper, they were talking about one of their prospects, and they wanted to change positions with him, and said he could go back to Venezuela in the winter ball, and they go, well, maybe he won't. A lot of clubs don't want their players.
That is ball 3. Martinez thinking it was ball 4. 3-2 the count. The Cardinals actually had an academy in Venezuela, and they shut that down for safety reasons.
That was several years ago too, and it's just gotten worse and worse. Played winter ball there and loved winter ball in a lot of the countries, but that was my least favorite.
Martinez hustling down the line. That officially is ball 4. So Moreñez has walked 2 in this game in relief of Tyone. And here's Lance Lynn, who doubled back in inning number 5.
This looks like a hitter, left-handed.
Showing bunt and looks at a ball.
Yeah, a lot of times clubs would not allow you or wouldn't want you, if you're a right-handed pitcher, to hit left-handed. Or in my case, I was a left-handed pitcher and I batted right-handed because your arm is exposed. And I told him, I said, I feel very comfortable. I can get out of the way of pitches. I'm not worried about that. And left-handed, I'd feel awkward.
Out in front of the plate, and the only play is to go to first, and the 3rd sacrifice this season for Lynn.
And a 4-0 lead, but who's to say that that play right there might be very, very important as this game goes on. First, you're worried that he didn't get it far enough out as Cervelli gets it on the dirt, but knew he had to get at least 1 out. Took the safe route to first.
A 2-hit night for Matt Carpenter. Single to left, RBI base hit to center with 2 outs. Also stole his 2nd bag of the year. 4-0 our score. And there's strike 1. Tyone tonight, starter for the Pirates, 5 innings. If you just joined us, 4 runs on 8 hits. Struck out 5 in the 2nd inning of work for Juan Moreñez, the former Milwaukee Brewer. Hit to first, taken there by Josh Bell. Flips to Moreñez for the out. 2 away, and it brings in Tommy Pham, who's enjoyed a 3-hit night. What's on tap? The pitching matchup for tomorrow. Game 3, presented by Budweiser. Martinez and Williams. Carlos 6-8, two-time All-Star now, as he hit 101 on the gun Tuesday night in Miami.
Pretty impressive. Of course, we remember the times when he first got up here as a reliever.
And there's a strike. Tommy Pham, 3 hits in this ball game. The base hit to left with Carpenter running, and the double over Polanco, and this double inside the third base line to pick up an RBI. His 35th of the year. The 0-1. No balls and 2 strikes.
Just envision Martinez still wearing a Milwaukee Brewers uniform. Remember the series he had up there last year? It was a glimpse of what he's doing this year.
Stays alive. After the ball game tomorrow, it'll be the first of 4 in New York on Monday night, and then a weekend series against the Cubs beginning next Friday at Wrigley Field.
Cardinals, after this road trip, will have a little better idea of where they are at the trade deadline.
Here's the 0-2 pitch.
I don't think the Cardinals would ever really say we're flat out sellers. You know, they're always going to try and improve the ball club, but depending on where you are in the standings and what things look like, you know, depends on who you would give away or who you would include in a trade to try and strengthen it for this year and in the future.
The 1-2. Recent history has suggested the Cardinals try to find a player that has more years remaining than just the 2 months of 2017. Another year, maybe 2.
Yeah, I mean, they always try to do that. And then in a couple circumstances when they have acquired somebody in their walk year, they were confident that if that player came to St. Louis, saw the environment, fall in love with Cardinal Nation, that would help sell them and be able to be a long-term relationship.
Sometimes you can't afford to do that, and you need to have a shakeup or something to improve your team, and that might be one of the, the cases this year.
Yeah, as I said, it's not in the DNA of the ownership to throw in the towel.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Tommy Pham. Big gap in left center.
Take one down the left field line.
Pham in his first at bat fell behind 0-2 and then was able to pick up a base hit to left. This at bat alone, he's had 2 foul balls, which he hit him off his foot and his leg. The 2-2 again. Pham strikes out, but the ball gets away. Run scores. Pham, can he beat it out? No. Nice pick by Josh Bell.
Look at this one too.
Cardinals will not challenge. Pham strikes out. And we head to the bottom of the 7th. 4-0 St. Louis. look at his line, you can think about the 4th inning. Remember how it started? It was an error by Carpenter off the bat of McCutcheon. Next ball gets under the glove of Jed Jerko, and Len, you can see right there how frustrated he was. He was upset, not happy, but then he gets this double play, and then Polanco would fly out to left. After seeing his reaction, how upset he was, the emotions of that, then to regroup, get the double play and the fly ball. Key inning for Lance Lynn.
Maturity and experience. Early in his career, he would, not that he was mad at any one of his teammates or anything like that, but circumstance, and he let the emotions get away from him a little bit. Now he's learned to channel it better.
And a ground ball softly hit towards second off the bat of Polanco for out number 1. Keeping an eye on the scoreboard. Milwaukee a 2-1 lead. That's in the bottom of the 6th over the Phillies. Thames an RBI double in the 5th. Jimmy Nelson has gone 6. They're in the 7th, and Chicago with an 8-1 lead over Baltimore. And the Yankees and Red Sox, they're tied 1-1. That's in the 15th. That was the only day game around Major League Baseball this afternoon.
Fox is happy about that one.
Here's Cervelli, who's 1 for 2. Base hit to right, grounded out to short. One ball and 1 strike. Well, we started our telecast talking about last Sunday, and that was against the Mets. Lance Lynn went 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, walked 1, struck out 2. And how about tonight? Closing in on 7 innings, 6 hits. The key: no runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts along the way. Cervelli out to right, and just over the outstretched glove of Martinez. 1-out double for Francisco Cervelli.
And Bowman, or Rex, T-Rex, is warming up in the bullpen. Cervelli's 2nd hit tonight. See the slider stayed up and stayed in the strike zone, just beyond the reach of Jose Martinez. 8th place hitter Jordy Mercer, who was 0 for 2, hit into a double play and struck out.
John Jaso at the on-deck circle. He would be the pinch hitter for Moreñez. That's a role that he's been very good at this season.
And the Cardinals know firsthand.
Well, Mercer grounding into his 12th double play back in the 2nd inning, and struck out looking in the 5th. He's 0 for 2. Cervelli at second base. Little chopper that's pulled. Third base coach is Joey Cora. Part of one of the most important games in Seattle Mariners history. 1995, it was game 5 against the Yankees. He had a bunt single in that division series, scored the game-tying run as Seattle would win. Ken Griffey Jr. scoring that winning run. You may recall famous slide, and they finally got over the hump in postseason play. They did it against the vaunted Yankees in 1995.
We're talking about Nick Leyva and missing him from Clint Hurdle's coaching staff, and been informed he's been reassigned to the minor leagues.
And that's a base hit into right. Cervelli held up at third. Runners at the corners, and Jaso will come up. A double, now a single. Runners at first and third for John Jaso.
He's hitting .316 with 7 RBIs as a pinch hitter this year. Got 2 pinch hit home runs this year and 5 in his career. There you see T-Rex, and he's coming in the ball game. A double play specialist.
Nice outing by Lance Lynn. This will be our Chevy Cole to the pen. Matt Bowman coming on to face Jaso, with the Cardinals leading 4-0 here in the home half of the 7th. Now it's up to the bullpen and Matt Bowman. Lynn also with our Nissan drive of the game back in the 5th inning. The Cardinals would score 3 runs with 2 outs. There's an error on McCutcheon, no RBI, but Lynn did pick up a double in our Nissan drive of the game. Matt Bowman was in relief last night of Mike Leake, 45th appearance. It was back-to-back singles to start the 6th, and he got a double play. Incredible play by Jed Jerko, and then a fly out, no damage done. With runners on this year, opponents hitting .221 against Bowman. And the lefties hitting .230. Jaso at the plate. He was 6 for 19 with 7 driven in as a pinch hitter. Ground out by Polanco to start the inning. Double by Cervelli. Base hit by Mercer. And the 1-0 pitch. Bowman has induced 6 double plays this year. Love number 7 right here.
And Bowman has become such a reliable man. And Mike Matheny used them over and over to come into an inning like this and clean it up. Bowman's only walked 9 in 38 plus innings. Normally throwing strikes, good sinking action, getting the ground balls.
3-1 pitch. And a high fly ball. Pham gets himself in a position to throw. Makes the catch.
Get it in.
And the runners stay put at first and third. Lynn currently, and I say currently, could change here in moments time, but 13 1/3 scoreless innings.
Right. And of course, we don't know what he did to start before. If he had a scoreless frame or two.
You know, lefties, Bowman's done a pretty good job against him. You got 3 in the bullpen and a left-handed batter up in Frazier. So 2 outs, runners at first and third. And there's strike 1.
Actually, lefties have hit .230 off of Bowman. Righties .241.
Frazier is 1 for 3 tonight. And the 0-1. One of the oddities of Frazier's season so far this year, he's actually hit left-handed pitching much better. .306. .255 against the righties, and he's 0 for 3 against Matt Bowman. In the dirt.
It's Tyler Lyons warming up in the Cardinal bullpen. Come out, got your runners on base. All you can do is watch. Can't control anything. And you wish you could.
Three and 1 the count. Now time is called. And a changeup is fouled back. 3 and 2. Runner from first, that's Mercer off with his pitch. 4-0 our score, home half of the 7th. 3 and 2 with 2 outs. And he walked him. The bases will be loaded. Josh Harrison was hitless last night, 0 for 5. He's hitless tonight, 0 for 3, and that doesn't happen very often.
No. He's one of those kind of guys, and Lynn gets a little more antsy. Dan, early in my career, I had starters. You know, if I gave up some starters' runs, they'd come up and they'd tell me what I did wrong. They never tell you anything when you get people out and strand their runners.
2 outs, base is loaded. And strike 1.
It's the best thing you can do right now is get ahead in the count.
Harrison is 3 for 5 against the Cardinal right-hander. Little jam shot, popped up. Voit racing after it, and it's out of play. 0-2 the count.
It was just yesterday, or was it today, that you were talking about Bowman and just really commenting on how valuable he has become and reliable. But he is definitely not afraid, is he?
You want him in these types of spots.
Yeah, I mean, for a Rule 5 pickup. You know, last year, you know, had to stay with the ball club, but he earned the right to stay with the ball club. And the second half of last year became a very important part of that bullpen. And this year, this is his role. Come in with men on base and get out of the jam.
The 0-2. Harrison with a fly ball. This should do it. Pham racing in, calls off to Young and makes the catch. Lynn and the Cardinals stay with a 4-run lead as Matt Bowman comes in with runners at first and third and 1 out. That's how he got loose and then gets key outs. As we move to the top of the 8th. 13 1/3 scoreless innings now for Lance Lynn after the tremendous work by Matt Bowman. His reaction to the final out. This keeps it a 4-0 St. Louis lead.
John Jaso stays in the ball game, and Frazier, the left fielder, moves to second base, and the new pitcher is put in to Harrison's spot.
A.J. Schugel, the right-hander, takes over, and our Chevy called to the pen. Appeared in 36 games a year ago, and he got a win in the bullpen start, if you will, for the Pirates on Sunday. As Frazier is now at second base. We mentioned earlier that he was a top shortstop at Mississippi State when he was drafted, and John Jaso takes over and left. Fowler at the plate is over 3. The 2-1 pitch. This really has turned into a Steelers town and a Penguins town after another Stanley Cup championship. But the city of Pittsburgh's enjoyed a long history of baseball. Been the Alleghenies, the Burghers, the Pirates. Started playing in 1891. And then you had the Negro Leagues. They had 2 teams here, the Homestead Grays and the Pittsburgh Crawfords. And the Crawfords had one of the great hitters that ever played this game in Josh Gibson. 3-2 pitch. It's slowly too short. Mercer up with it and makes the play for the first out.
Josh Gibson, the best hitter in the Negro Leagues ever.
Power hitter for sure.
Power hitter, yeah, definitely.
Cool Papa Bell played here. Satchel Paige. So many great players.
A lot of those players were a little bit older and not able to break the color line that Jackie Robinson did. Jackie was a very special person, and that's what it took. Someone with tremendous self-discipline.
Jed Jerko at the plate. RBI single to left and also walked. For 4-0 our score. His RBI was his 48th. Back in the 4th inning. Jed has been beat up a little bit here in this game tonight. He was hit on the side on a pickoff play at first base on a throw over, and now that one off his foot. Umpire cleans off the plate, gives him a little breather.
There's a pickoff in the side as he went back in.
And right down the middle, a strikeout. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's Yadier Molina. Molina has grounded out to short, lined into a double play, and also flied out to deep center. Trevor Rosenthal was outstanding. 11 pitches in game 1 of this series last night. He pitched in the 8th inning. He struck out Cervelli and Mercer and a pinch hitter. Here's a 1-1 pitch. And a fly ball lifted into shallow right. Polanco is over, sliding for it. Let's hope he's all right. And he is, as he hops right back up.
So dangerous the way those stands jet out towards the playing field, and just a few feet right there. Hit right on that corner of the padding, and luckily he didn't get hurt.
Think of Alan Craig in Houston when he had a similar type play.
Every time you think of Alan Craig, it just pains you to think of the end of his career with the Cardinals, and was such a great hitter and person, ball player, and everything you want to say about him, all true. And just something had to happen there for him to lose it so quickly.
Didn't make sense. Cardinals have struck out 9 times tonight, but yet they have a 4-run lead. Rosenthal coming on when we come back. by Bud Light, famous among friends. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Good work by Matt Bowman to get the final 2 outs with trouble in the bottom of the 7th. Now we move to the home half of the 8th, and Trevor Rosenthal is in. Couple of strikeouts last night. And here in the month of July, batters hitting just 125 against him. This will be his 39th appearance. And the batter will be Andrew McCutchen.
Ninth inning man, Dan.
Good question. Seung-Hwan Oh gave up the walk-off homer last night. It's back-to-back games here for Trevor Rosenthal. We're in the bottom of the 8th, 4-0 our score, and McCutchen sends one foul. McCutchen, a 5-time All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger, and the MVP back in 2013. I think about John Brebbia potentially. I also think about Brett Cecil.
Good choices. It's not a save situation, so it's not like you had to go And if Rosenthal has, the type of outing like he did last night, 11 pitches, you extend him to 2,
sure,
and you give everybody else time off there. But other than say, some of those guys need work down there.
McCutchen, a base hit to left, reached on an error by Carpenter, and also flied out to center. Rosenthal sat down with our very own Jim Hayes on the pregame show. Nice visit with number 44. And a swing and a miss. 98 on the gun, and a strikeout of Andrew McCutchen. Plaza Tire Service. The fastball out of the zone, but he chased it.
As you get that pitch up there, it's high level, so you see it well, but you can't catch up to it. High in the strike zone can be a pitcher's or a hitter's pitch, but high above the strike zone is a pitcher's. You can get him to swing.
Fastball taken inside by Josh Bell. Grounded to first, grounded to second, and also a base hit to left field. And that was the ball that was under the glove of Jerko back in the 4th inning.
I was just looking at Tommy Pham out in left field, and he must hit a lot of balls like he did the home run that went into the left field corner. There's a big gap out in left center. Tommy playing him like a right-handed pull hitter in left.
Talking with those that have been around the Pirates for a while, they said that was the one thing, though, that Bell had in the minor leagues. Great power to the opposite way. Slow roller, barehanded by Carpenter, and out at first. Nice play, Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, bang bang play right there. He didn't have time to make the exchange from the glove to the hand, so he barehands it, do or die, and he does it.
With 2 outs, the batter is David Freese. The Dodgers winning again, 7-1. That's in the bottom of the 7th against Miami. Cody Bellinger with the cycle already. What can't he do? He had a single in the first, home run in the 3rd, a 2-run shot, his 26th to lead all rookies, double in the 4th, and a triple in the 7th.
They're in the bottom of the 7th, so he might get another plate appearance or 2.
The Cubs are up 9-2 over Baltimore. That's in the top of the 9th. Rizzo with his 21st home run.
Yankees have taken a 3-1 lead in the 16th at Boston.
Udubel Herrera for the Phillies. A solo home run in the 7th that tied it at 2-2, and they're in the top of the 8th, the Phillies and Milwaukee. One and 2 the count. Spoiled by Freeze. Fastball, and he struck him out. 99 on the gun. The young guys coming up. That means Luke Voit. It's 4-0. Will she get that baseball? Nope. Luke Voit, the single and a run scored back in the 5th, is also popped out and struck out. Schugel is 2nd inning. Off speed pitch and a strike.
Tyler Lyons is warming up for the night.
And that's well hit out to right, but Polanco with room and makes the catch. Brings in Paul DeYoung. Grounded out to 3rd. Struck out in the 5th and the 6th. 0 for 3. Seeing more off-speed pitches as we go along. There's the fastball outside, but we'll see how A.J. Schugel wants to deal with Paul DeYoung.
He's appearing in his 39th game and hitting over 300, so you got to assume he's hitting fastballs.
Little flare out to shallow right. Polanco, 2 down.
Didn't take long for people trying to expose a young hitter.
You got to try something different.
Yeah, and I mean, and he'll make an adjustment, and he'll get enough breaking balls and swing at strikes. That's part of it.
Here's Jose Martinez. Struck out in innings 3 and 5 and then walked in the 7th and left stranded. And it's 0-2. We understand that Magneuris Sierra has landed on his way to the ballpark.
This game will be over before he gets here.
You hope.
We hope. About a half hour away, so it should be.
And back to Shugo. Underhands to first to Bell. And we head to the bottom of the 9th. Cardinals, and Colton Wong is in for St. Louis. He'll play second base, and the new pitcher for the Cardinals is left-hander Tyler Lyons.
Tyler has not pitched since the 7th of July. Cardinals got a couple of relievers like that. Chuy Balala and Segrist and Brevia haven't pitched since the 9th. That was be Sunday. So try and get these guys a little bit of work. Get them ready to tune in when they have to get in a much tighter situation rather than 4-1 or 4-0.
So Lyons finishing up warm-up tosses here for the bottom of the 9th. Cardinals trying to make a winner out of Lance Lynn. Great work by Bowman when he came in the 7th. Runners at first and third. Only one out. No runs came across. Scoreless 8th inning by Rosenthal, and now Tyler Lyons. Cardinals trying to make it their 8th shutout of the year. Pirates have been shut out only 4 times this season. He's 2 for 11 against Lyons. And he's recorded a strikeout his last 4 outings. Good matchups in terms of what the Cardinals are looking at here in this 9th inning. Polanco backing away from that breaking ball. He's 2 for 11. Cervelli 1 for 7. Mercer 3 for 14. Polanco is 0 for 3 tonight. Fly to center, fly to left, and grounded out to second. 0-1 pitch. And the gap in right center. That ball is down, and he's headed to second base. Leadoff double for Polanco.
Very quiet. The big crowd, big quiet all night. This leadoff double here. That's what I'm saying. You know, when you haven't pitched more than a week, part of that's because of the All-Star break or anything like that. That first outing, you really kind of have to, at least for the first batter or two, you're just trying to throw strikes, let alone quality pitches.
Matchup favors Lions. Cervelli tonight, base hit to right, also a double to right, 2 for 3.
Brett Cecil is up now.
Pirates now have out-hit the Cardinals 9-8. But they've stranded 8 in this game. Milwaukee a 3-2 lead. That's in the 8th inning. Chicago leading Baltimore 10-2 in the 9th. 2 balls and no strikes. Three and 0. Three and 1. Cervelli's had words with the home plate umpire a couple of times tonight.
I saw Marvin Hudson a little wink, kind of a little smile at him. So not perturbed at him for dropping the bat.
Ground ball that's hit to short. DeYoung gobbles it up. And there's one away. Runner stays put. That's Polanco at second. And the batter will be Jordy Mercer. For Milwaukee, they took the lead in the 8th inning on a Travis Shaw solo home run, his 20th of the year.
Talked about it last night. Yeah, that Boston, I'm sure, would love to have him back. Kind of one of those deals, a little bit under the radar, but he's become a very good player there. Getting a chance to play every day and shine.
Mercer takes ball 1.
Jaso stayed in the game, so he was on deck.
Breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Liner to Carpenter, and that's out number 2. We turn to tonight's Budweiser player of the game, and it's Lance Lynn. Cardinals are 1 out away from a shutout, and Lynn's 8th victory of the season coming back from Tommy John surgery. 6 1/3, 8 hits, no runs, no walks, struck out 3.
And then back-to-back starts with Lance Lynn not allowing a run.
You have to think that it becomes more attractive with each start too.
No doubt.
Free agent to be. Here's Jaso with 2 outs and a runner at second. One ball and 1 strike. If this holds, it would be the Cardinals' 9th shutout of the Bucks at PNC Park. Last one was also a Lance Lynn start back in 2015. Would be only the 3rd time Cardinals have done this in Pittsburgh since 2008. They're 1 out away. The 2-1 pitch. 3 balls and 1 strike. The 3-1 pitch. 3-2. A 3-2 pitch. Jaso with a fly ball out to right. Martinez is there. The Cardinals have a win. Their first of the second half. A 4-0 shutout of the Pirates. And Lance Lynn is now an 8-game winner. The 9th shutout of the Pirates at PNC Park, and the last one was 2015. Lynn made that start, 3rd time since 08. And the Cardinals will try to earn a series win tomorrow afternoon.
Boy, it's so important to get a good start deep into a ball game. Bullpen was good once again, and timely hitting was appropriate for this victory.
Lance Lynn in the 7th, game on the line. Bowman on the mound. Catch made by Pham. That helped seal a win.